Hello, hello! My name is Adriana and this is my Q3 stats / book haul. So my life is not as drastically different as it was between Q1 and Q2, which is nice. So less than a week after I said this, like literally 6 days, my husband and I went under contract to buy a new house in a quick close. So life has been chaos since then. So this is what I get for saying life is slowing down and I'm settling in and we're doing fun things. Whatever, it's fine. I'm settling into Portland, having a good time, just enjoying life. And because of that, I've actually hauled way more books this quarter. So look forward to that. But as per usual, we will be starting with my stats, which we love stats. So I'm gonna pull my laptop around. I'll look at the stats here, you'll look at the stats here. It'll be a great time. So quick stats, my number of books year to date is 78. That is comparing to 30 in Q1 and 55 in Q2. Trying to do that quick math, it's not gonna math in my head, but I think I'm about on track with what I read in Q2. So I read the most in the first quarter and then have been about the same since then. Number of pages, I'm currently at 16,728. Compare that to Q1 and Q2. I'm not gonna do that math because I don't even want to try. But 16,728 sounds very impressive to my ears. And this is just eyeball pages. I don't convert my audiobook hours. So the average length of the books I've read has gone down significantly since the first half of the year. So just each quarter, we're just reading shorter and shorter books. I've been in a short book mood, I guess, this year. So yeah, median page length, I dropped a little bit there as well. So I'm actually a lot more, well, potentially more of a normal distribution. My median page length and my average mean page length are a lot closer than they've been. Hours listened, so I listened to significantly less audiobooks in this last quarter, which is good for me personally, just because I tend to overconsume audiobooks. So I'm glad that that is a little bit of a lower number and is hopefully I'm more mindfully consuming my audiobooks, which I think I am. Generally, to me, number go down is good for this number. My physical TBR has increased quite a bit, which is kind of funny because I feel like I've been reading so much from my physical TBR, but I've also been buying a lot and it's not gonna get any better because I guess at some point I will go over the bingo things that I've been doing. And then money spent went up quite a bit too, so whoops. But I feel like I'm still doing okay money spending wise. So, you know, that's where we're at. So let's jump into gRAphS. My genre breakdown. I feel like this is a pretty normal breakdown for me. Fantasy, mystery thriller, nonfiction, romance, sci-fi. Like I usually try to read from a bunch of different genres. So I'm glad to see this looking like it is. Audience, this makes sense for me. I read mostly adult / general audience. I don't tend to read a lot of young adult or middle grades. So we're doing good there. Place in a series, mostly reading standalone makes sense for me. Like I have commitment issues with series. I don't like to start them. I like to continue them when I can, and I love to finish them, but starting is just such a big hurdle for me. Format, most of what I'm reading is with my eyeballs, which is good. Still reading a lot of ebooks, which makes sense. I love an ebook. It is just my preferred method of reading, but I also love collecting trophies like a serial killer. So you win some, you lose some. Source, I'm getting most of these from the library. We love a local library and we love the Libby app a lot. Ratings, most of what I am reading is at a 3-star. My average rating so far this year is at a 3.8, which isn't bad. It means like I'm on more of the 4-5 end than I am on the 2-1 end, which is good. I want to enjoy what I'm reading, so feeling good there. Page length, okay, I guess I can kind of see why my average might have gone down because I've read quite a few books in the 100 to 200 range, which seems wild. I guess maybe that might be a lot of like comic book type things. year published. Most of what I'm reading is in that 2020 to 2023, and then a lot of 2024 releases, considering that is just 1 year. And then where I heard about these books from, most of what I read, I guess not even most, 48.7% of the books I've read this year, I already, it was in a series or I had already read from that author before. So that is, I guess I'm not really branching out in 48.7% of what I read, but the rest of it is stuff I've found either through ARCs or a book box or a book club or browsing or heard from a friend or sought out for a readathon or Twitter, or I guess there's one ubiquitous book, which I put that in there basically as I wish I could see which book I put as ubiquitous. Let me actually go check, because that's going to be the best example of what I believe is ubiquitous. Oh, The Andromeda Strain. So I didn't really find that browsing through a book club. I guess I had read Michael Crichton before, but I just feel like The Andromeda Strain is it's a ubiquitous book. Everybody knows about The Andromeda Strain. So I guess I would also use ubiquitous for any classics I've read. It's just, I didn't really hear about it from any one specific place. It's just a book that a lot of people know about. So comparing this year to years prior, again, we still have 1 quarter left of the year, so this will change, especially in comparison to the other years, but this is where we're standing right now. My average page length is much shorter than it has been in any of the years prior. Same thing with the median. My total spent on books since I've started tracking, considering we are 75% of the way through the year, I'm doing much, much better on my book spending this year than I have in years prior since I've started tracking it this way. My average rating is a little bit higher than it was last year, which is good because I think I'm probably rating on the same scale this year and last year. So in the previous years, I was very 5-star happy, just doing whatever. Now that I've read a lot more books, I feel like I'm really refining my tastes and my rating style. So I'm probably more comparing 2023 and 2024 to each other than anything previously. Read of purchase. So this is a count of how many books I've read from the year I purchased them. So it's not that I read 84% of the books I purchased in 2022, but of the books I bought in 2022, I have read 84% of them, which I would think that would be higher considering I've had 2 years to read them, but that's where we are. And I've only read 50% of the books I've bought this year. So I still have quite a few books I need to work through that I've purchased in the last 2 years. Average read time, we are still below where I was in 2023, but I'm pretty sure that's higher than it was last quarter. I've been just a little slow these last couple months. And then my total books read, I'm currently at 80 or 78. So I am definitely on track to go past 100 again, which would be good. There's no real reason for me to target 100 books a year besides the fact that it's fun to say that you read 100 books a year. I think that's it for stats. So let's talk about the bingos I did. So I've talked about them in a couple previous videos, but I did one, well, technically I did 2. I did 2 for Powell's. I blacked out one board and got a bingo of another, and between those entries I won a $25 gift card to Powell's, which is very exciting. And then my local library did another kind of bingo challenge and I blacked out that board as well and won a $50 gift card to Powell's. So we are swimming in Powell's money. Unfortunately, all of the books I'm about to show you from my haul, I didn't use that. So we'll get into it now. This haul is in reverse chronological order just because of the way I grabbed them off of my shelf, but here we are. So these first 2 I bought at an event at a museum in Portland called OMSI, Oregon Museum of Science and Industry. They do these OMSI after dark events, and they basically had an adult book fair event. I made a little YouTube short of it if you want to check it out. It was pretty fun, but I bought these 2 books while I was there from 2 different book vendors, but both local bookshops. This is it. I got a little Ursula K. Le Guin and then a debut author novel that I saw Jayla from While It Loves Lit reading, so I thought it might be fun to pick up. This next chunk of books I also made a YouTube short about, so you can check that out as well. But this was like a little haul I did while I was at the downtown location of Powell's. Again, before I had my gift cards, so we didn't get to use those. But I got a paperback version of a spin-off series of the Sigma Force. So this follows specifically two characters, Tucker and Kane, a military dog handler and his dog, Kane. So I've never read these, so I'm excited to pick it up, and it's technically next in publication order of my like Greater Sigma Force reread. So excited to check this out and see what I think. This one was kind of an impulse buy. I saw that it was a #1 bestseller for Powell's in that like month or that quarter or something, and I had never heard of it. So I thought it sounded really interesting because it's selling super well in Portland and I had no idea what it was. This one mostly got me on the cover and the title, Drunk on All Your Strange New Words, and it's like a translation kind of space opera-y type of book, so that seemed like it could be really fun. And then these two I picked up on the sale rack while my husband was going to the bathroom, because they put the sale shelves right by the bathroom because they know what they're doing. So this is kind of more of just like a philosophy book on the idea of utopia, and then this is, you know, women in myth from different folklores around the world. And then finally, this was a Powell's haul from my local Powell's, not local, but like the Powell's location that is closest to where I currently reside. And I got this while I was turning in one of my bingo boards and picking up more $5 off coupons, and then I used those $5 off coupons on this little haul. So I got the translation of the Iliad by Emily Wilson. I read her translation of the Odyssey earlier this year and really enjoyed it, so thought I would pick up her translation of the Iliad because it is another thing I need to read as far as original source material goes, and I like her translations, so I will probably be buying whatever translations she does. I also picked up Lavinia, which is like a retelling of the Aeneid by Ursula K. Le Guin. So I'm really excited to check this out because I've been like not really hit or miss. I've been like excited by a lot of Ursula K. Le Guin has written, but it just hasn't quite crossed the finish line for me. So I'm hoping a Greek mythology retelling from her will be like really cool, because I do really like her writing style, but there's just something about her ideas, just like the execution just doesn't quite get there for me in the end. So we'll see what I think of this Aeneid retelling. And then finally, some James Rowland's hardcovers that had been signed. So that was very exciting to find because he always does these like little doodles for all of the books that he does that are kind of like specific to the plot, like little plot elements or whatever. And this was a recent reread that I did, so I do have a video up about this specific book on my channel. So yes, this is very exciting to find. And then the Last Oracle is, I believe, a standalone? No. This is... Shoot, which one is this? Okay, this is not a standalone. This is part of the Sigma Force series. So it's just a signed version of a book I already have owned and read and have a hardcover version of, but I would guess I will be giving that one away or selling it or doing something because now I have a signed cover. But anyway, those are all of the books I hauled in Q3, and I will definitely have a bunch more hauled in Q4 because I have $80 of Powell's money to spend, which is very exciting. So with that, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.